Emira has been listed on the JSE since 2003 and has grown steadily through the acquisition of Eris, Momentum Props, Freestone and part of Growthpoint Australia. Its property portfolio is more geared towards A and B grade offices. It has a market cap of 6.9 billion rand and trades on a forward yield of around 7.5%. Now, having just said that the office space is under pressure, how does that translate into your view on Emira if most of its portfolio is in the A and B grade office space?
Not very well for Emira, unfortunately. And you spoke about A and B grade space. What they do, what's also worth mentioning is that some of the areas in which these assets are located are what we would call secondary areas or B grade areas. So, you know, an A grade area would be something like Sandton or Rosebank or Elovo. A B grade area is probably something like a Fourways or Centurion. So what?
Why is that so funny?
I don't know.
Are people going to take offense that we're talking about A? We're not talking about residential property.
No,
we're talking about office. Yeah. Please don't take offense from what Kundai is saying here. We're purely staying in the office game.
Yes. Okay. And unfortunately, Emira, even though they do have A and B grade assets, a lot of these assets are in these areas. So what we're seeing in the market, and this is quite important, is that when you have GDP around 2.5%, whatever the latest number is, I think the latest downgrade is to 2.4, you tend to find that there is no net growth in the office space. What you find is musical chairs, and that a new building is built in Sandton that sucks up a tenant from Bryanston to move into that area, or Centurion, like I said, to move into that area. You actually don't see any net growth. And unfortunately, because of the construction we're starting to see in the Sandton node and some of these prime nodes, Emira is likely to be one of the funds to lose as a result of that. So fairly negative on the office assets.
Doesn't sound like the best outlook there.
Yeah, but you know, this is a solid operation. The CEO, James Templeton, used to be a stockbroker with Barnard Jacobs Millett. That's why I know him vaguely from there.
Is he a friend? Do we need that disclosure?
No, not a friend per se. This one's always had a close connection with RMB because of the Momentum RMB. You know, all of those guys were all in cahoots together. They picked up that property thing. They got this Eris connection. Freestone, you see all over the place, you know, with office parks, secondary ones all over the place. I think as Kundai says, the problem is, you know, they do a new building in Centurion for like Worley Parsons, that big engineering company. But of course, those guys came from somewhere else. So there's a bit of kind of mixing and matching going on. There are two things that I would like to know more about, and here's the man who can tell us, is firstly, what have these guys been up to with Growthpoint Australia? Because they've got a stake there, but how does that work? Because of course Growthpoint is a major player. So just explain for us what that asset is.
And it's perhaps worth highlighting the incestuous relationship among these property players, which we talk about time and time again.
Yeah, it's typically the case. The Growthpoint Australia stake is simply a passive stake.
Okay.
What they said is that at board level they got approval to go to a certain amount of the asset base offshore. They simply took a stake in Growthpoint Australia, and which was a good investment.
What kind of percentage of their NAV would you guess that represents? I mean, what kind of portion? Is it 50% or 15% or what?
No, it's not significant at all. It's actually under 10%.
I can't let you go on anymore. We run out of time, unless it's a really
Quick
valuable
question. These guys are
point.
also doing a management reshuffle. So is that significant? You know, there was the thing with Broll and outsourcing and firing Eris and all that.
Yeah, they've already done that. It happened in 2012. It wasn't as significant as we expected, but it is creating savings to their revenue.
Hot or not, now that you can make a qualified opinion again on Emira?
I would say it doesn't sound too good, so I'm going to slip and slide away with not hot.
Kundai changed your mind, didn't he? You went into that discussion thinking it was hot.
No, it didn't sound, well, like the whole sector, yes, but this one sounds like best avoided.
Hot or not, Kundai?
Not hot. Good team. I think they're in the wrong space in terms of the office assets.